Stuff all set?
Yeah, hit it 3 times. Hello, if you're watching a replay, we're just getting set up here, or not just getting set up, but just getting everything ready for people to start watching. I didn't want to get on here too early because there's a ton of lead time for the replay if we do that. And we'll get started in about 3 minutes. And I will post a recommended props list in the comments, but it is in the description of this video. So you can go ahead and find it if you're trying to get set up. There we go. Stop. All right, we're gonna get started, and we're gonna start in a comfy seat and do some pranayama. And we're looking forward to tonight's practice. I just did a practice run of it myself. So It's a good one. So get a comfortable seat, maybe get a blanket or a bolster or a block, something to sit on just to make sure that your hips are nice and comfortable and are able to not feel all that tightness from the day. So give yourself as much support as you need, even if that means you got to sit against a couch or a wall or a desk or something. And then we'll get started with some pranayama. All right. So let's let the hands rest on the knees. Allow the breath to fall into its own natural pace. And start to find where your breath is moving smoothly and where it's maybe getting caught in the body. Just take notice of that. Be aware of maybe where there's tension in the breath. We don't have to fix it or move it or change it at this very moment. We just want to bring awareness to the breath and the body together. And then start to allow the breath to be a little longer than normal. Allow some space in the lungs to expand. We're not forcing a bigger breath, but just allowing more. And you might feel the diaphragm being pushed down by the lungs as you expand, almost as if you're breathing into your belly. So allow that subtle shift into a deeper breath. And then we'll start off with some square breathing. If you've done this before, you may have a number that you count to that works best for you. We are going to use 4. 5 can be a little much for someone who's never done this before. And sometimes 4 is even a little bit much. So if you need to back off to 3, you can count to 3 for all of this. So we'll start by letting a full exhale, release, and then inhale for the count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, and continue on your own for the next 2 to 3 rounds. The next time you exhale and hold, take a nice deep inhale and a nice long exhale and let go of that. You might even let the palms face up as you let your breath fall back into its natural pace. Notice if anything at all has changed. It's okay if it hasn't. We're just here to be with the body and the breath. We'll bring the palms together at the heart and allow the eyes to close. Think of maybe 1 to 3 things that are on your gratitude list today. Doesn't have to be profound. It can be a cup of tea. It can be your favorite pencil. We'll take a nice big inhale of gratitude and exhale anything that no longer serves us. Let the hands fall away when you're ready. Take a nice big inhale out and up. Exhale the left arm down to the earth. Right arm up and over. Breathe, nice big breath into that right lung, keeping the sitting bones plugged into the earth. The next inhale sweeps you back up through the center, and exhale to the other side. The next inhale sweeps you back up through the center. Exhale, fold forward. Two more breaths here. And then inhale, reach the arms all the way back up. Exhale the palms down to the heart. Switch the cross of the legs, and we'll just do a nice easy twist. Inhale, lengthen to the spine. Exhale, twist to the left. Bring that right hand to your knee, left hand behind you. Gently looking over that back shoulder. The next time you exhale, gently come back to the center, nice and easy, just bringing the hands back to the knees. Inhale, lengthen to the spine. Exhale to the other side. The next time you exhale, come back to the center, bringing one hand on either knee. Inhale all the way out and up, and exhale, fold one more time. One more breath here, in and out. And then inhale the fingertips all the way back up. And exhale the palms down to the heart. Make your way into tabletop. And take about 3 to 5 cat-cows here. If some circles happen in the hips that just naturally kind of want to happen, allow that as well. And then we'll go ahead and bring the big toes just to touch and sit back onto the heels. We'll get prepped for our first long hold, which will be a supported child's pose this evening. So I prefer to bring a blanket underneath the knees. There's also some of us who need a blanket behind the knees. So I would roll this up and put it behind the knees. And then there's also some of us, if we've got a lot going on in the ankles, this is really uncomfortable. So you can roll up the blanket and put it under the ankles to give some support. And then I recommend using a bolster or whatever you've got to make a cushion with. It might be pillows or pillows and blankets, some combination, but make yourself a little cushion that is longer than it is wide. And then we'll find a nice, easy, supported child's pose. Now you'll be here for, yeah, you can go ahead. We'll be here for 5 or 6 minutes, so really get comfortable because you want to let go in this pose. And then about halfway through, I'll let you know, and you can switch which side you've got down on the bolster. Take a long breath in, and as you're ready, gently turn your head so that your other cheek is resting on the bolster. Take a long breath in and a deep breath out. Let your breath and your body inform you when it's time to move. When you're ready, just gently press yourself up to a seat. And we'll move this bolster so that it's longer than it is wide. So if you're making a makeshift cushion, just see if you can return all of that. And then we'll go ahead and use this for our shoulders. You may need a block or a book under your head if you don't have enough support from the bolster. And then there's an option here to use blocks so that your legs can be in a supported butterfly. If you don't have some sort of blocks or blankets to put under your legs, leave the legs out long because we want the body completely supported. So you'll lay back onto this cushion with the shoulders completely supported, out wide if you can. And the head needs to be supported as well. So if there's some sort of block or blanket that needs to go behind the head, make sure that that is situated for you as well. In these last 45 seconds or so, see if you can allow the breath to move down into the belly, sending breath like you're filling up the belly. Emptying the belly last as you exhale. And then take a much longer than normal inhale and a nice long exhale. If you have your legs in a supported Padasana or butterfly, gently draw the knees up to center and let the knees just move gently side to side. Very small movements this time. And then gently roll to one side so that you can press yourself up to a seat. And when you do, we'll get situated for some easy twists next. So bring the bolster longer than it is wide again. You can keep a blanket under you for support if you would like. And also, if you have another blanket easily accessible, you can have a blanket in between the knees when you get into this pose as well. At this point, more than likely, your heart rate has sort of started to settle in and maybe get a little slower, and you might be feeling some coolness in the body. So if you need a blanket over you, that's completely appropriate as well. So you'll bring the left hip and thigh parallel to the short side of this cushion you've created. Bring one hand on either side of the bolster, and then find some length in the spine and some nice long breaths all the way into the toes. As your body becomes ready, find a nice long exhale to help you melt down onto the bolster, keeping that nice gentle twist, and then letting the face turn the same direction as the knees. Sometimes I have students say to me that they don't feel a lot happening in some of these poses. So these are meant to be long holds because we're letting the parasympathetic nervous system take over a little bit more than the sympathetic. And that is the part of us that is in charge of rest and digestion and energy conservation. It's different than the rest we get while we sleep. So it's important that we get comfy in these poses and then let go. And that as the thoughts come in and out, we just gently favor the breath. We allow the thoughts, we don't press them away, but we don't entertain them either. And sometimes when it's particularly difficult to focus on the breath, we might just think some very simple, easy mantra. I am enough, or I am present. Something simple that is right now. As opposed to something that will be. even if it's not completely true right now. We pull that into our present. Take 3 long inhales and exhales, and then gently begin to find your way to the other side as easily as you can. Taking time to find length in the spine, taking time to settle in when you do come down onto the bolster. Take 3 long inhales and exhales. And as your body and your breath let you know that it's time to move, gently come up to a seat and just come to a nice easy seat with the legs crossed, the palms resting on the knees. And we'll just take time for a few seated cat-cows. Inhaling, lifting the heart, arching the back. Exhaling, curling the spine, reaching back for the wall behind you. Inhaling up and exhaling. One last time. And then if you feel so inclined, it might feel nice to just draw a couple of circles on the ceiling with the spine nice and straight. Just gentle circles. They don't have to be very big at all. As you can see, Brett's kind of losing himself in these circles. You're welcome to do that. And when you're ready, come back to the center and we'll draw just a couple of half circles across the front of the body. So take a nice long inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, keeping the chin level, and then exhale the chin to the chest. And then inhale, left ear to left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, right ear to right shoulder. Just do that just a few times. And the next time your right ear comes to your right shoulder, come back down to the center. Inhale, back up. And then we'll make our way to the wall to put the legs up the wall. If you've not done this before, Brett is a pro demonstrator, so he's going to show you. And if you have done this before, go ahead and get yourself a blanket, or sometimes it's even nice to have a block under the sacrum once you get there. But you'll start on your start seated and then come onto your side and have your rear up against the wall. And then you'll rock one leg at a time. So you're kind of going diagonal, which is common. Bring your torso straight out from the wall. So you make a right angle with your body, and then one leg at a time. Even pros have to learn.
That's right.
So once you get yourself there, the arms are going to be out wide this time, or in a cactus, whichever you prefer. And then at some point, if you're feeling really vulnerable here, just bring that left hand to your heart and that right hand to your belly. Now, if you're sitting at home and you're saying, I don't have an open wall, use a desk, a couch, a coffee table, a dresser, a wardrobe, a bed. So as long as the thighs are vertical, the calves can be resting on a coffee table or something if they need to be. And then you can always try this out in the future when you have a free wall or dresser available. One last option you can add, if you have a yoga strap available, it's right there, you can make a big loop. I'll do it for you real quick. You can make a nice little loop with a belt or a yoga strap and put this around the calves, and it just adds a little bit of extra support to the body. Like I've said before, these practices are all about support and feeling comfortable. No. So So what Brett's gonna do is just loop this around his calves and then tighten it just enough so that his legs feel, so straighten your legs first. Let your legs be like comfortably apart. So you just want your feet spread above your sitting bones. They don't need to be together. And then this is just to support, that's not your calves, honey. Those are your calves. There you go. This is just to support them so they don't fall apart. And hopefully you know where your calves are. I'm just kidding. It is kind of an awkward extra prop to get in place, but it really, it's really nice because it allows your legs to not feel so much that they're being held up, that they're holding themselves up. They're just being held. For these last 30 or 45 seconds in this pose, go ahead and bring the left hand to the heart and the right hand to the belly. And just check in with the breath and the heartbeat. Check in with how grounded you feel right now. Your toes might be a little tingly, that's completely normal. When you feel that there is a nice long exhale welcoming you into movement, bend the knees and draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze, maybe even rock side to side a bit. And when your body lets you know that it's ready, you'll gently roll to one side and press yourself up to a seat. We'll be moving to Shavasana next. And this pose is extremely important. Some would argue it's the most important pose. Even in a gentle practice, a lot has been moving and shifting in the body through this gentle practice. And we still want to give it time to settle and rest and receive the information and the breath that has changed. So for Shavasana, you can decide to have a bolster under the knees. You can decide to lay flat on the mat with just a blanket under the head. Or you can lay on your side if laying on your back is just not accessible today. If you lay on your side, I just recommend having a bolster underneath the top knee and a blanket under the head. So go ahead and make your way. You never wait on me. What are you waiting on? Go ahead and make your way into Shavasana. And your job here is that you have no job. If you are riddled with thoughts, you gently focus on the breath. If your mind goes clear and blank, we just let it be blank. So gently keep coming back to the breath. If you absolutely must, come back to I am enough or I am present. And if you can, let the palms gently face up. As you lay on the mat and receive. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. As your breath falls back to its natural pace, allow your body and breath to let you know when it's ready to move. It might start small with the fingers and the toes. Might lead into a larger stretch. But let this movement come from the breath, come from within. And then when you become ready, gently roll to one side and find your way to a nice, easy seat. We'll take just a last few breaths together. So we'll bring the palms together at the heart, the eyes closed, and the head maybe slightly bowed. Think back to that short list of 1 to 3 items on your gratitude list today. Take a nice long inhale, inhaling that gratitude once again, and exhaling anything that no longer serves you. We'll do that 3 times. Namaste. It was our pleasure to be with you this evening, or whatever time it is when you're watching the replay. We appreciate your presence, and it was welcome and it was felt, whether you're someone just popping in or watching later. We're happy to be able to do this for you. This is a free class. It is donation based, so if you feel led to give, there is information about that in the description of the video. Also, we hope to see you again on Tuesday at 7:15 and next Thursday at 7:15. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel if you just want to keep up to date so you don't forget to give yourself some self-care. And also, a fun reminder, at some point soon, we'll be having some live music from Brett as you make your way into Shavasana in the coming weeks.
From me as well.
So thanks again. We appreciate your presence, and we'll see you again sometime very soon.